Hello and welcome back to Podcasting as Praxis. I'm Dave, my pronouns are he and him.
I'm Jamie, my pronouns are he and him.
I'm Rob, mine are he and him.
And I'm Alistair, my pronouns are also he and him. I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made
to
it.
cover for Alistair while he's on holiday, we've got Sinan.
Yeah, that's right. Hey everyone,
Yep.
I'm Sinan.
We are so good at scheduling.
Yep. Also, my pronouns are they, them, in case people get confused about it, like that guy who posted my video on the Something Awful forum and misgendered me. No biggie, but yeah.
No biggie, but biggie.
No biggie, but don't do that. I will find out who you are, and then I will... well, anyway, let's leave it there. I don't want to be edited too heavily this time.
This time.
I was edited. I'm pretty sure I said something actionable, like one of the times I've been on.
You?
No.
That doesn't sound right.
No, that doesn't sound like me. No.
One? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah. Well, I know the thing I said about a certain lord definitely got fucking cut from one. Like, I know that.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I'm almost certain that we will find something to edit out, so don't worry about it. Probably this first thing, actually. So, do you ever feel like work is prison?
Every day. Only every day.
Yeah.
Good news. The people in charge of work have confirmed it is prison.
We say while recording a podcast that also makes money.
I know. I'm sat here in like a fucking stripy jumpsuit with a ball and chain.
That's how they get him to edit.
You've just reminded me of those pictures of fucking Gapes and Streeton.
Oh man.
It feels like so long ago. In fact, it was so long ago. It was like 7 years ago now.
A genuine lifetime ago.
Yeah.
To think they'd actually caught them.
Yeah. They're letting these criminals back on the streets too much.
It's true.
Yeah, another failing of the Keir Starmer government. Yeah. Mike Gapes left prison, went big up Keir Starmer, and then got in a fucking milk float.
Oh. Anyway, the reason that I bring that up is because Iceland staff have been told that their job is prison by
Oh Christ!
a guy who works for Iceland.
Yeah, but like I've been to Iceland when I was in North Wales. The only shop that was nearby was in Iceland, and I can confirm it is fucking prison.
I've just realised I should have got that I hate Iceland guy as a drop. Fucked it. Right, anyway. So...
Do it in post.
Yeah, do it in post.
Fuck it.
Everyone
we'll
do a sensible chuckle right now.
Oh, fuck. So yeah, this is... This actually like was a fun little story because it made me aware of something I wasn't aware of before. This was done courtesy of the Times Crime and Justice Commission. Why the fuck does a newspaper have a Crime and Justice Commission?
I actually had to look that up to check whether it was them running their own Crime and Justice Commission or whether they were sponsoring one the government was doing.
Okay. Wow, funds really are low in the government. Wow, they're like, can you sponsor this shit?
The Doritos chili heat wave, like fucking climate change commission.
It's fucked as well because if you go to the actual, it's linked in the article, and it is just a collection of other articles written in the Times as if it's just a section on crime and justice, but it's all headed Crime and Justice Commission. It's fucked. I don't know. It's a really weird vibe. But anyway, the point of it is to fucking lobby government to make it so that, you know, the policies that Times call them, the like, you know, jail povos and anyone who isn't...
the death penalty, shooting migrants at the border or before the border or after the border.
And in this case, bringing back slavery, which seems suboptimal, I would say.
Yeah.
I feel like we had a debate about whether slavery was good or bad, and we decided it was bad. And in fact,
that's because every 5 fucking seconds... It's because every 5 fucking seconds you get reminded that it was Britain that ended slavery, didn't you know?
Well, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, then we're allowed to bring it back.
Yeah, well, yeah. You get a freebie, right?
The fucking dipshit from the Times that posted this on Blue Sky, did, go to great lengths to point out they're going to be paid, guys. It's like, wow, cool.
Yeah. Well, they're going to get paid in room and board. Is that, is that the deal, perhaps?
Oh no, it's literally
that
worse.
bit with it's literally that bit with Jeff Goldblum from the Thor film. I don't like that word. Sorry, the prisoners with jobs.
Prisoners with jobs, yeah.
Yeah. So the idea is that you can be sentenced to work in Iceland, which is fucking
fuck me running.
Some of us were fucking sentenced to work in much worse jobs than that, but by circumstance, not by fucking the government.
I sentence you to minimum wage and a 0 hours contract. Actually, that would be too bad.
Welcome to being 16.
Pretty much, yeah.
Or welcome to a large fraction of the UK population, just in general.
Yeah.
So, can Iceland get you arrested and then use you as a slave? Then is that the big brain play now?
Honestly, probably, possibly. I think there would be a route to do that. I'm not saying
you got to get creative.
But there would be a route to do it.
Look, CEO of Iceland, get in touch with me. I do all sorts of shady shit in video games. I know how to game the system. Trust me.
Yeah,
getting the Crusader Kings expert in to elaborately set up a plot.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I had to plan over 3 generations how to unite England and France and then abolish the Kingdom of England. I can fucking get Iceland slaves. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you just want to supply everybody with a delicious selection of fresh frozen meals, then this podcast is available for sponsorship as well.
So this is Richard Walker, the Commission's chief executive, whatever the fuck that is supposed to mean as a real job, and Paul Cowley, who is Iceland's first ever director of rehabilitation.
Well, you see, he was sentenced to that job. That's why he's got it.
Director of rehabilitation is the most fucking Andor background character-esque fucking job title I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a job that someone in government should have.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, also, but the government doing stuff is communism. We can't have that.
Yeah.
Also,
this is true.
Everybody who ever buys anything at Iceland is the director of rehabilitation, because you have to unfreeze that thing. It's fine. I'm the director of reconstitution of my burger. What the fuck are you talking about?
But the government doesn't need a director of rehabilitation because they've got that Wazzock from fucking Timpsons, haven't they? Charging people 30 quid a pop to cut keys.
Yeah, but as far as I understand as far as I understand the fucking Timpsons guy, right? At least he seems to be quite genuine when it comes to helping people.
His whole thing
about
it is, his thing is people who have come out of prison and are very unlikely to be hired, by anyone, because how fucking kind of people deal with fucking hiring are. He'll actually give ex-convicts some jobs, which is okay, that's fine. There's not a problem with that, and in as much as there's no problem with the concept of work as it is, which obviously there is a problem.
Yeah.
But it's fine. There's nothing really wrong with that. The problem with this is that they expect that if you are to be given a sentence if you're to be given a sentence which makes you a, quote, low-risk offender, that's not elaborated on in too much, means, but yeah, low-risk offender, you could be sentenced to working in Iceland rather than going to jail. So, as part of a suspended sentence.
I can't
it gets better.
Being sentenced to Iceland. It's just...
Yeah, you haven't done the money paragraph yet, David.
I haven't, no. Walker said, "We have a prisons crisis and we have a solution that we think could be really powerful. And look, if people mess up and they don't turn up for work, then they do go inside." So in effect, you'll be jailed for not turning up to your fucking work.
That's their dream, though, isn't it? That's the absolute fucking dream. Like, luckily, I don't have to turn up to my job at all, which is probably good news for me.
I'd just take jail, to be honest. Like, you know?
Yeah, like, imagine... you can either go to jail or you have to go to your job. Well, honestly, on some days, it's a 50-50 proposition on that front, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
imagine getting citizens arrested in an Iceland because someone thinks they saw you steal a packet of Maltesers, and then you can just never leave.
you're condemned. They give you the uniform and you're condemned to work there forever.
Just going to put a cardboard cutout of Dan Snow in the window to deter fucking shoplifters.
Just fucking Judge Dredd roaming the aisle, like just fucking flinging Iceland outfits at you.
Yeah, citizen, like, just hands you your gear. Fuck.
Just storing people in the freezers like the start of fucking Demolition Man.
Oh, yes. What a
sentence to 10 years Iceland cube.
Oh, yes. Well, we got to get Wesley Snipes back for that. All sorts. A lot of opportunity
love that
there.
film so much.
I watched it kind of recently, and I fucking loved it. Pure, like,
so
dumbasses dystopia. I love it.
Yeah.
They do have a system already where they like work inside prisons and pull people out as their sentence is coming to an end and do the kind of Timpson type thing, which again, like, yeah, fine.
Charge too much money for keys. Sorry, we had to have keys cut recently, like, do you know what I mean?
Wait, how much just for a reality check, how much does Timpson charge for a set of keys?
It was like 12 quid a key.
That's too much.
Fuck me, that is expensive.
Fucking
Well,
Liz Truss strikes again.
I say that. My mum went to Timpson's and, like, she says they like they quoted her 12 quid per key, and so, like, she fucking just, you know, didn't bother. And then I had to go to Greylands, which is our local fucking hardware place. To do a quick plug here for Greylands, if you need, like, fucking bits to do any DIY, come to Greylands. They've been there fucking ages.
Yeah. Anyway, we're proud to announce our new sponsor. Greylands is a great store that can do many things for you.
But anyway, there are types of offenders that they won't let work in Iceland, obviously. They say, we won't consider anyone on the sex offenders register.
Because they're afraid they're going to, like, fuck the frozen peas.
No. It's worse than that. They say the reason for this is we can't legally put people who are on the sex offenders register into public-facing businesses like Iceland Foods. It's not because they won't. Or they don't want to, it's because they can't.
It's just, they can't, yeah.
Hey, Keir Starmer, there's your opportunity for growth.
Yeah. Oh, God, could you imagine the, like, Savile-brained, far-right AI slop YouTube channels if he fucking lifts that restriction? Because they are berserk. They keep getting recommended to me on YouTube, and they keep linking to my Keir Starmer videos, so I always end up with a bunch of weird far-rightists being like, oh yeah, we fucking hate Keir Starmer too, because of all of this nonsense that's made up. And I'm like, fuck off, guys.
Yeah, I hate Keir Starmer because I live in a gas leak.
Like, it's either that or it's centrists going, Keir Starmer should sue you for this. And I'm like, if he wants to fucking sue me over a YouTube video, please do that. You have no idea how much I would love the growth I'd get. You want to generate growth? There's a way to generate some fucking growth.
They also say we can't take anyone with an arson conviction because of insurance issues. But they also say, this one is like, the caveat on this is incredible. We don't take anyone who is domestic violence, with children involved, the sentence ends. So regular domestic violence, that's fine.
Wait, so I can beat the shit out of my partner and still restack the frozen peas?
Yes, and quite possibly be placed in a shop very fucking near where your partner would actually have to go do the shop. So yeah, like, it is absolutely fucked. There's no issues of safeguarding possibly beyond the absolute fucking top tier ones that they need to look at. And by top tier ones, I mean, 50% of them to deal with fucking the insurance won't like it.
This is a really fucking stupid idea. I feel like I need to point out, this is really fucking stupid. Even by, like, the British standard of stupid, this is really fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it very much feels like we're having, like, a meltdown over a hallucination that someone in government had because they've got literally zero ideas about anything at all.
Well, because every other fucking week, a senior minister's like, well, I'm out of ideas. Why don't these people come up with the ideas? It's like, no, that's your fucking job. You had 14 years to figure out what you were going to do, and you came after. If I, after 14 years in a job, showed up and said, "Yeah, I've got nothing, boss," I'd be sacked on the fucking spot. Are you joking?
But you've not got nothing, though. You're a government minister. You can simply say, let's see what Fraser Nelson thinks. As if that's a fucking relevant
no one
thing
has
to
ever
do.
said that.
Have you seen the government?
No human.
All this is just the application of workfare with a specific type of state violence to back it up.
No, but like you...
And I also want to talk about other types of workfare with different types of state violence to back it up.
Yeah, but before we get though, like, so you say, like, you know, this is Star Wars, a government of no ideas. It's not. This is the kind of, like, terrible shithouse, you know, punitive crap idea that you got in, like, the last term of Blair and, like, the last year of Gordon Brown before the whole thing, like, fell to shit. Like, that's what this is. This is, you know, this is sort of on par with the fucking, you know, mosquito noises to get away with, you know, to chase the teenagers away. This is, it's all at that pitch.
You say that, you say that in a very negative light, though, but me as an animal with pattern recognition powers, I actually think it's probably quite good if it's the shit they were doing at the end of the Blair era, because that bodes well for the end of this one.
And also, it's still, like, it doesn't disprove the fact that they've had 14 years to think of new shit to do and come up with nothing.
Yeah,
They spent the whole Corbyn era fucking crying about how having ideas was bad. Then it turns out they get into power, have no fucking ideas, and are now third in some of the polls. Like, half the polls are fucking third.
Remember all the fucking stories in the news about wasted backbench talent, the titanic intellect of Rachel Reeves waiting to burst forth so that she can stomp on benefit claimants again.
Rachel from Accounts has really good ideas, I've heard.
Rachel, who is she even from Accounts?
I need release the CV.
Complaints.
She needs to release the CV, the full unredacted CV. We're not resting until we get it. We're just
an entire page of just black lines with one little excerpt that says, her head just does that. Right, so before we move on...
I'm fully in favour of a return to the Gordon Brown years, though, as long as, like, this time he fucking, like, you know what I mean,
doubles
suplexes
down.
that bigoted woman. You know what I mean? Just, you know what I mean? Like, we just reenact that, but, like, with a crowd of people behind going, go on, Gordon, you can take it.
Fucking Gillian Duffy, you know, with the steel chair. Like,
Right. Moving on, the DWP bill that is going through at the minute, the fraud, error and recovery bill. Yeah, just some little highlights that Liz Kendall's made sure we will all get to enjoy. So, the DWP will be granted
SWAT teams.
Powers of entry, search and seizure for DWP staff where there is a suspicion of serious organised crime.
So,
DWP door kickers.
The specificity of DWP staff is actually very funny, because that means it's actually not going to be the G4S guys that glower over the desks. It's going to be the little dipshit that sits behind the desk.
Oh no!
It's so good as well, because they were like, where there's a suspicion of serious organised crime. It's like fucking, do you know what I mean? Like fucking Mavis and Dave from your fucking like work coach department are just gonna like come through fucking Tony Soprano's door.
Yeah, like I just imagine this would be like the TV license people. You don't have to let them in.
That's who bursts in and shoots him at the end of the show as well, like in that diner.
It does feel like someone caught wind of the fact that, like, you know, governmental departments in America all have their own like specialized police force, like, you know, the post office, and they're why don't we get some of that, but without any of the fucking guns?
Fucking Disneyland has its own police force in America. That's not like... So let's not... I don't want the fucking Alton Towers police force to exist.
I mean, I know it's not far off, but I don't think Disney is actually part of the US government, though.
That's true,
Flamingo Land Roses.
It's its own country, I guess, so...
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
like
finally a place for the Boris Johnson fucking era water cannons. It's just like you receive 10 quid too many. It's just like all of a sudden your house is entirely flooded, and then some fucking dipshit from the DWP wanders in.
I just imagine Liz Kendall personally being made to arrest every single person caught up in this.
Absolutely,
100% she's
absolutely
going
put
to
a
be
fucking
on a
flak
stab
jacket on and go with them. Yeah,
Yeah. I was trying to find a quote a few days ago, but it's literally that Priti Patel shit, like where everybody was asking, like, "Oh, what did you do over lockdown or over Christmas?" And they were like, "Oh, I baked cookies," and she was like, "I go on dawn raids with the police to show the criminals no mercy."
It's like,
what do you do to unwind? What do you do to unwind? Oh, I get a magnifying glass and burn the legs off of insects. Oh, cool.
Do you know what this whole thing reminds me of, though? It's that fucking that Tony Blair speech he gave where he was like, "Yeah, and the fucking drunks on a night out that called me clean shirt. They'll not think so. They'll think twice about doing that when the police frog march into a cash point."
Oh,
I kind of like how that's almost exactly what happened with that Labour MP who smacked that guy outside the pub. That was pretty much almost exactly what he said as well.
Other powers are giving the DWP the power to apply to courts for a suspended driving disqualification order to disqualify a person who owes the DWP money from holding a driving licence. That'll make it easier for them to get jobs.
Motherfucker, they don't even take driving licenses away if you murder children with a car. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You can run over protesters and keep your driver's license, but
you can run over real humans as well, and they'll still let you keep your license.
But only as long as you've got a job.
Yeah, that's the trick.
You've got to be a productive economic unit, otherwise you're not allowed the privilege of driving a car.
No one who looks at what I do at my fucking job would think that I'm a productive anything, honestly. Well,
this is the point of it. Like, driver is a fucking unstated but very clear class of people that are catered to by the political class, and the entire point here is to fucking push you down that, I don't know, caste. Really, just you're not allowed to be one of us. It's fucked. It's really there's an ideology behind all that beyond just this is punishment. There's also through the DWP's eligibility verification measure, they will require banks and other financial institutions to examine their own data sets to highlight where someone may not be eligible for the benefits that are being paid. So in other words, and this is going to be the defence that gets rolled out every fucking time for this. No, the DWP isn't looking at your bank account. They're just asking the banks to have a look at your bank account and then do a bunch of work on it and then report back to the DWP, which is totally different from the DWP looking at your bank account. Obviously.
Yeah, it's actually more of a fucking pain in the ass for everyone involved. It's actually worse somehow.
Yeah. I can also, I'm fully, trusting that the privacy-respecting people over at, HSBC, I assume, will say no to the DWP very often, very strongly.
Well, at the moment, they're actually, this is one of the only saving graces of this, is that the banks have all said, we think this is shit, fuck off. But it's only because they don't want to do that work. That's
shit. Yeah, it's too much fucking nonsense to deal with.
Yeah.
Just don't bother.
Also, let's say you are a bank and they're like, can you check if this person got 20 quid too much or something? Whoever does the checking at the bank is their time is worth more an hour than the 20 quid that you may or may not have been paid too much. Who cares? For them, it's just a lost position.
Rob, you fool. Of course the government's taking this into account. Other measures include...
Christ, no.
Wait for it. The DWP will have the power to make direct deduction orders to take a regular payment or a lump sum from the account of a person who owes them money. This will include taking money from joint accounts if the debtor does not have a sole account.
What?
So, yeah. Please make sure you're sitting down. It will also include taking crypto assets.
Who the fuck is so destitute that they owe the DWP money, and also has fucking
All my
Bitcoin
eggs.
kicking around.
Yeah.
It's that guy who tried to get into the landfill to get his Bitcoin drive back. That's who it is, isn't it? But also, like, this is 100% going to result in the government wrongfully seizing people's money.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
There's no question that's going to happen, and it's going to happen a lot. And
Oh,
then
hold on.
it's going to be a complete fucking disaster.
This
There's
is-
a reason
this
governments
is-
don't do this.
This is an inquiry waiting to fucking happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like like presumably leader of the opposition Farage will be demanding an inquiry of whoever the fuck ends up leading the Tories after Kemi Badenoch because of Labour's fuck up here. Like that's pretty much what we're nailed on to have happen.
Yeah. In addition, the bank will have the power to charge a fee to the account holder for the cost of removing the money from their account.
Are you fucking
What the
shitting me?
No,
They're
I
just-
am not.
They're creating so much middleman. Like it's so typical of like this kind of person to create just more fucking nonsense
don't-
bureaucracy.
Why don't they just like skip the middleman altogether and just be like, if you don't earn enough to pay income tax, you are now by default forced to pay some like tithe every month instead.
Yeah, you
Fucking-
charge tithe. You know, like
Yeah.
you're a serf. If you're under the sort of tax-free income, then you're a serf legally. You're bound to the job you have, like those people
Yeah, exactly.
who work for Iceland.
You're bound
That's
to the,
it.
local,
Yeah,
to the
I-
Lord of the Iceland, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Whoever it is, whoever owns the local Iceland owns you now. That's just how it works in
That's
Britain.
how that goes, yeah.
We're bringing back feudalism, but like somehow even shitter and with worse work culture than we
Yeah.
had back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate when the
Although-
Yarrow garnishes my wages.
Yeah.
So yeah, also on top of this, obviously garnishing wages is something that's involved here. That can happen. And also, employers will have the power to deduct further sums from the employee's wages in order to cover the administrative costs of deductions from earnings orders.
It's just this
hell.
constant use of employers and landlords and banks as like
Yup.
the enforcement wing of the state, and it's like it's just fucking because I don't know. I remember when I got my job, the job I currently have, how many fucking hoops I had to jump through just to prove that like no, I'm meant to be in the UK. Don't like, and it was hard. It was hard for me, and
Yeah.
I'm meant to be here. Like, what the fuck does everyone else have to do here? Like it's just
But
more
also,
of
like,
this shit.
just as like a matter of curiosity, let's say like the DWP decides that you've been paid 20 quid too much for whatever the fuck, and then they ask your employer, and then they ask and your bank and all these other middle people institutions to like pay them money, and then they all do, and then by the time you've worked out what the fuck's gone wrong, and you seek redress, do you then have to
you'll
get
get
it
100 quid.
at the DWP, or do I have to go to HSBC, or do I have to go to Tesco's, or like my employer, or who the fuck?
Board of the
That's the
Iceland.
fun thing.
That's
No
the-
one knows, Rob. The courts will have to figure this out after someone who is on fucking benefits and being paid a fucking pittance by them manages to take someone to court and successfully win that one.
Also,
Like,
the
that's the only way
famously
we can find
idle and free courts that we have. You know,
Yeah.
they're just, they've got lots of spare time and bandwidth to deal with this shit.
Yeah. One last one as well, because I did say earlier on that this would affect all of us. The DWP will have the power to issue an information notice to a wider range of organisations requiring them to provide specified information where there is a reasonable suspicion that fraud has been or may be committed. In other words,
Oh,
be
good.
anyone.
If you
if you thought
shit.
crime, yes, yeah, we're doing precog shit for benefit fraud. The information may relate to the person suspected of fraud or a member of their family.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm gonna defeat the DWP precogs by just getting an eye transplant.
Yeah, that's the trick. Yeah.
I'm gonna pay for the transplant with my benefits. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, by the time they've worked it out.
like.
You'll also be glad to know that they are rushing this fucker through. The next reading of the bill is in like 2 weeks fucking time from when it was originally announced. So
I miss when I wasn't recording this podcast for the last few weeks because I was blissfully unaware of how far along this shit was.
Because I mentioned this in my video about the second Keir Starmer video, and I was like, oh yeah, it's probably going to be fucked. And then I'm here now, hearing how far along it is. I'm like, oh, it was worse than I even made it sound, which is impressive because I made it sound pretty bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's amazing how they always find a way to be shitter than you expect. That's the special talent of Keir Starmer. Maybe his nickname really should be Special K. Fucking hell.
Anyway, it's not all shit though. Rob, what have you got?
Well, I mean, it depends on who you are and what side of the fence you sit on. But it has been very funny watching.
Firmly on the fence, Rob.
No, because this involves podcast. President Xi, who is our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, I was talking about President Xi earlier today and how he executed a billionaire, and I said only real countries execute billionaires. So that's narrowed the field down quite a bit, to be honest.
Yeah, there are only two countries. It's China and Vietnam.
Yeah. Interesting what those countries have in common about their governing party. I'm just saying.
No, but what they've done now is like
the East is red.
Yeah.
But what they've done now is like made a serious play for like stealing all your data and giving it to the Chinese Communist Party rather than Sam Altman at OpenAI, which is incredibly fucking funny.
Oh, this isn't about the TikTok replacement. Okay,
No. This is about about DeepSeek, which is the new AI
the next app that's going to get banned by the Americans.
Yes. Well, they're genuinely already talking about doing that. Like, there was an article on CNBC about it that like they're considering making rules to make it illegal for U.S. companies to sell like the DeepSeek app through like the marketplace. So like you couldn't get it on Google or Android anymore.
When I was in the shop earlier, I just saw the front page of The Guardian where it's like Chinese chatbot causes billions of losses on stock market, and it's just like, what the fuck happened here, man?
It's genuinely like all they did was produce a slightly less shit version of something that's fucking awful, and it wiped like $1 trillion off the stock market in America.
I mean, what
which I think says a lot about how shit America is in general.
I mean, what they did, which is, and as far as I understand these things, and like I am not a fucking computer toucher, like DeepSeek is like it's instead of what the American companies have been doing, which is just like add more chips and burn more forest, is like they've just looked at the model and just made it like better and smarter by just creating a different they just created literally a better model rather than like saying, well, the model we have is almost perfect, we just need to like feed more rainforests into the wood chipper to create
now you don't need like a top end graphics card.
It's not that you don't need one top end graphics card, it's that you don't need an entire superstructure filled with them.
Yeah, you don't need like a tesseract of graphics cards to fucking run this thing.
It's mad because like I've been like long believed that nobody like working in AI actually understands what they're doing or knows how a computer works properly.
Well, because none of it's efficient, which is already like a big red flag.
The way they talk about it, where they go like, "Oh, if we just like keep scaling it up and keep like making new models and train it and feed it more data, it'll eventually become like an actual intelligence." And it's like, okay, well. Obviously, a lot of them are fucking grifting, but there's people who genuinely seem to believe that, and it's the like stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
The people who genuinely believe it are trying to build God.
Yeah,
they're trying to build God, but God just apparently can't draw hands.
Yeah, trying to build God out of sand on a beach.
Yeah,
it's just. Have they considered
with the tide coming
making the just get one of the servers and just make it really vertical, like really high up. And eventually, at some point, that will work out for everyone.
Like a Brendan sort of structure. Yes. And then...
But yeah, like one of the things...
Tower of Brendan.
That's it.
One of the things the fucking the Chinese model does is it categorizes its data sets, and then when you type in a query, it like determines which of those data sets are relevant to the query and only searches those instead of searching the entire data set.
That seems
that
really
makes it
obvious.
Like, yeah, it's like insane. It's like the first thing you would do if you were like optimizing code is go, maybe we don't need to search like 7
entire
million
some nation
terabytes
billion
of like
knowledge.
fucking shit, like to find one thing.
If someone
It's like-
suggested we're going to search, we'll have a search function, but we're going to search everything, I'd be like, you should probably not do that. Like, you should probably fix that straight away.
And like, I don't know, maybe you could even like do helpful category sorting so that when I'm looking for a delicious pizza recipe, like it just ignores the Bob the Builder database and doesn't tell me to add glue.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like tech recently is just like fucking, you know what I mean? The hallmark of like recent tech innovations is that like I get the impression that like nobody in Silicon Valley actually understands computers at a fundamental level.
Not anymore.
Because it's like the blockchain where it's like, oh, we'll just keep every time we do a transaction, we'll just like recreate the entire ledger in the fucking block, and it's like, why would you do that? Like, do you know what I mean? It's insane. Why would you use that for anything? Especially
Because
something that
central
needs to
banking bad, obviously.
Especially something that needs to be updated like regularly.
Well, I mean, my central theory about this is, because I do think you're right that like a lot of people in Silicon Valley don't fucking understand what a computer is anymore, is basically because they've absorbed a much more important lesson. It's like, you don't actually need to understand much of what a computer is. Like, you just need to have like a good story that some rube will buy off you. So why get invested in it when like you can just be Sam Altman and just like wander around and going, oh next year, 18 months tops, your coworker is gonna be AI. No, seriously, no. 2 years from now, just like give me £500 billion more, and I swear to God, we will have invented robot Jesus. I pinky promise, we're
Shrimp
almost
Jesus,
there.
Yeah, they already invented Shrimp Jesus. We already got him. It's all good.
Yeah.
Great, mission accomplished. Pack it up. Give everyone their graphics cards back.
And the funniest, there's two obviously incredibly funny things. The first thing is that like so many people were immediately going like, I bet those dastardly Chinese, thieves must have stolen all the fancy chips that they're not supposed to have, because obviously without our Western expertise, they can't build a thing. It's no, they
all of the Western expertise
they
that's all built in Taiwan.
Yeah. And of course, the other thing, which is sort of where we started, was like it was also what you saw in the like as a headline in the newspapers, like Chinese chatbot will steal your data and give it to President Xi. And I'm like, what do you think the Americans have been doing with all my data? Treating it gingerly and lovingly. They didn't give it all to the NSA.
There's also the fact that like you can just download this one's like efficient enough that like you can run it on a laptop, so you can just disconnect it from the internet and it works.
Yeah, if President Xi wants to see my internet history, I'd feel much more comfortable showing it to him than to the Americans. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, like, the thing that's worth remembering is it's still a generative AI, and therefore it still must be destroyed.
Yeah.
But it is very funny that it's
we
like
need to destroy the hated machine, correct?
Yeah,
but Larry and Jihad, we're all on board. We're all on board.
It is very funny that it's cost all these fuckwits a ton of money.
Yeah, that is pretty funny.
Also,
the last capitalist hung will be the one that sold the rope, etc., but for computers.
Yeah, but also they trained it, because the other thing is, we've had all that talk about like fucking like model collapse and like Habsburg AI and stuff, where if you train it on its own output, it like fucking falls over.
Yeah. Oh my God, you would not believe the size of the tongue on this chatbot.
Well, they trained this one
Homunculi.
They trained this one on data sets that they created using like fucking OpenAI's things, because it turns out like apparently if you know how to use a computer, that's not actually so much of a fucking like insurmountable hurdle. But they stole like fucking, do you know what I mean, OpenAI's data set, and OpenAI, like, people are going mad about that. Like, it's theft.
That's so funny.
Is it now?
Oh, is it? Interesting. Interesting how that plays out, isn't it?
Theft is bad now? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'll update the spreadsheet.
There was a brief window where we needed theft, where it was good.
Yeah, now theft bad.
It's so good though, because like they've done like regulatory capture to stop anyone from doing this like stateside. Like they try to push for all those laws about we've got to be careful. Only us true like experts and sages can be trusted with the mighty power of AI. You can't have just anybody doing it, because what if they created Skynet? You know what I mean? And then like but it turns out like the Supreme Court can't help you in China, so
yeah.
Sucks to suck.
What if the Nazis build an AI?
Exactly, yeah. What if?
Well, and it just kind of also just like goes to show how fucking lazy all the fucking the Silicon Valley geniuses are. Because like instead of doing this, which is like rewriting the code and making it more efficient. Again, I'm not a computer toucher, but that seems like a sort of baseline thing that you should be doing to improve like anything. That's how we. That's not even just computers. That's literally how we've refined existence, by looking at a thing and saying, maybe this can be better in different ways. And they've just said, nah, you know what we need is like an infinity of hardware and like several, Earth's worth of rainforest to set on fire and, more sweet water than humanity has. And that will be fine.
Yeah, you're being a complete fucking fool about this, because how are you supposed to stimulate growth if you use less energy? Then you're going to give less growth to the energy sector.
Yeah, I want to talk about
growth. That's how it works.
Genuinely, the problem though is your next job being in cyber. This state of affairs is what you get when you spend like 3 decades trying to teach every single person on Earth how to code. Oh, you should learn to code. You should learn to code because you want to bring like fucking coders' wages down. Because it turns out the entire planet runs on code, and it's actually a very difficult fucking job to do well. And you can't just train any fuckwit with like money to do it. So like all these fucking Silicon Valley guys are just bad at their jobs.
There was also a nice bit of implied racism where they were like, how could they do this without all the bestest engineers who all live in Silicon Valley? And I'm like, I don't know. There's like more than a billion Chinese people. I'm sure some of them can touch a computer. Like,
just
can't be that rare. Right? Yeah.
If anything, they should have more people that are better. Really, when you think
the thing is, I don't know. I mean, I can't speak to like the fucking quality of their dry stone walling and computing like colleges in China.
Well, I mean, you'd be the one
but
person.
They're probably better. They're probably better than the ones I've fucking seen the inside of. Do you know what I mean? Because like. They're a country that builds like infrastructure and railways and like fucking,
a fusion reactor.
A government that does things. So
and
maybe
the government does stuff, and it's the Chinese Communist Party.
Intriguing.
I wonder.
But maybe when they train people to code, they actually train them to code and not just to suppress wages. So,
in that concept, there was this brilliant text, which is apparently like how like this DeepSeek thing is like just causing like meltdowns all over the place, obviously, but apparently specifically inside Meta / Facebook / Mark Zuckerberg's vanity project. Quote, management is worried about justifying the massive costs of generative AI. How would they face the leadership when every single leader of generative AI is making more than what it costs to train DeepSeek entirely? And we have dozens such leaders. It's like,
how do you have dozens of them? How do you have dozens of them? What the fuck is this organizational structure? What is going on?
We just look, Sinan. When you're like a tech Goliath in the United States, you just get to a point where you've just got all these guys lying around, and if you don't stuff their mouths with gold, they start doing dangerous things like opening their mouths again.
Yeah,
they start visiting islands with owned by now deceased billionaires.
I just think it's great that we're at the point where the free money has run out again, and it took all these fucking cunts by surprise again.
Yeah, they just
do you know what I mean? You'd think they would like see it coming once.
It's no wonder AI is so bad at like pattern recognition if these guys are the ones designing it. Like, fucking hell.
What was funny was Sam Altman, like I think it was like 2 years ago, saying that it would be impossible to train an AI to like the same standard as ChatGPT or whatever, like on like a couple of $1 million budget, and like
challenge accepted.
Yeah.
It's one of these things where it's like, wow, you mean to tell me China has taken something America does and done it cheaper and arguably better? Has this ever happened before?
What's next? Electric cars? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think my favourite one that I seen was the Financial Times saying Nvidia's shed more than 600 billion in value because of DeepSeek. And then there was that one article from a few months ago with an Nvidia executive saying the AI market will be worth $600 billion.
But it turns out it kind of was.
Yeah.
Yeah, gonna have to change the tense there, but otherwise.
Yeah, he pretty much nailed that. Good for him,
Yeah, but, and of course, that's the best thing maybe about all this, is this, of course, happens the week after or 2 weeks after the British government has said, we're all in on AI and you're going to have to build your data centers everywhere around here,
Reverse
the data
Midas
center
touch. It's the reverse Midas touch.
Keir Starmer gave the AI his utmost confidence.
Yeah.
A kiss of death.
He said the AI will change the things that need changing, and boy did it. It turns out.
Hello, and thank you for choosing Podcasting is Praxis. Our podcasters are experiencing an unusually high volume of unfunny bits at the moment, so you've been placed in a queue. Your patronage is important to us, and I need to inform you of the great benefits you freeloaders are missing out on by not subscribing on Patreon. A back catalogue of premium episodes, plus
2 bonus episodes
every month, ad-free regular episodes, plus you get access to our Discord, which, in addition to being able to harass the Praxis Cast crew with your favourite Star Wars characters, will allow you to listen to all of your favourite cutting room floor moments, such as... and...
Fuck off, Alistair.
Subscribing lets us create more of these hilarious moments, so please do subscribe for just $5 a month on patreon.com/praxiscast. And now, back to the episode.
Now, that's the other thing I want to talk about how this isn't desperation, this is growth, It's... Yeah, because more than 6 months into this fucking shit show of an administration, and did you know what? Turns out that what Britain needed was a bit more than, competent managers with weird Lego heads in charge to make economy grow. It wasn't enough.
Wait. So you mean the growth fairy hasn't been by? But Keir Starmer promised me the most growth in the G7, and that the growth fairy would be by any second.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
And also because you can't raise inflation, we have to have growth. Otherwise, we're going to have a debt crisis in 6 months. So better get on with it, lads.
The growth fairy has to come at some point. Otherwise, what am I going to do with all these teeth?
Yeah.
No, it's because the one thing that they did do was that national insurance policy, which turned out to be incredibly stupid because it just stops companies from hiring.
It doesn't even charge the companies; it just makes labor more expensive.
Yeah,
and it's also inflationary. They managed to raise the one tax in history that's not like a consumption tax, but that is also inflationary. It's incredible that they managed to find that. I didn't even fucking think it was on the table for being raised. Because it was so obvious that it would be a problem.
But Sinan, counterpoint, what if the British economy being shit and the price of the interest rate on gilts going up for a bit was actually really good for the government's narrative? There's a quote from the Times. In the Treasury's telling, the market panic earlier this month when the cost of government borrowing soared above the levels under Liz Truss was a useful sword of Damocles that Rachel Reeves can now wield over her cabinet colleagues during the upcoming spending review. Quote,
fucking Christ!
A lot of that coverage was actually incredibly helpful for us, an ally said, because we already knew the argument we wanted to make further and faster.
No, disaster. No, I'm telling you now, we're going to have a fucking depression. We're going to have a depression. Because, or we're going to have hyperinflation. We have to have one or the other now. That's basically the situation we're in. We have to have one or the other. Because...
they do comfortably go hand in hand, though.
That's not an
either or situation.
But it could well be an either or, because I feel like if we have the kind of depression we're going to have under fucking Rachel Reeves, we're going to deflate. We're going to have a deflationary crisis probably. But yeah, it's a complete fucking catastrophe because
it's insane.
How have they managed to MacGyver that? It's because of self-imposed fucking nonsense rules too. You can fucking ignore the rules; they're made up. You can invest to grow. It's fine if you invest enough to grow. Your growth will outpace the rate your debt is rising. That's how.
Whoa! No! You can't spend money. Fucking, what are you talking about?
That's how Victoria Free works, man.
Look, you can't expect this government to do things like buy steel and pay people to put it somewhere. That's just not something the government can do.
Literally, like, one of my suggestions was just, like, give people 1,500 quid, and that'll generate more growth than any policy people have.
Yeah.
Like, just give people 1,500 quid. Like, just one off. Just write the check. Just cut a check and call it a day. That will generate so much more growth than any fucking plan they have. And it's so embarrassing that it's come to that, honestly. It's worse than Liz Truss. It's honestly worse than Liz Truss. I actually think it's worse.
What the two of them have in common is that they just, especially even more so I think Labour, is like they could just be spooked out of their tiny little minds by like literally any fucking thing happening. You know,
damn.
like fucking.
I wonder if someone did a YouTube video where they said this. I don't know.
If what's his name, the guy from Apple, like has a bad fart, Labour's immediately like,
Apple,
oh shit, we have to fucking destroy all Labour rights. You know, like these people are just fucking. They're so susceptible to like the dumbest pressure in the world. But yeah, so like the growth is super important. Is important now because part of the reason that like it's so important, if you're wondering about the timing, it's because Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer were in Davos last week because obviously they were at the World Economic Forum, and you know people were telling them Britain's shit and we don't like it actually. So now they've like come back and said we're even more sorry and we're going to work like even harder.
But this is part of the problem, because they keep coming back and saying, like, oh, everything's fucked, this country's fucked, nothing works, and we're not going to try and make it work.
Yeah, there's no growth, everything's
and
shit.
Then no one invests in the country. Okay, look, accepting that this is an economic model I'm opposed to, but within the framework of that economic model, you do have to at least fake it till you make it sometimes. There is a bit of that, you know?
Well, but they think they can. This is an incredible bit from a different article in the Times. Watched by leading businessmen, investors, and media, Rachel Reeves had one simple message: every other government priority will be subjugated to the need to growth.
Oh, it's fucked. It's fucked.
No, wait for this. Said a close ally. She likes being challenged in public because she is so confident in her argument. Her ability to answer tough questions in a robust and confident manner really helped. People can see she knows her stuff and that she's got a plan.
Fucking fell
and that
apart
she's
when
confident.
someone asked newts or bats. What the fuck are you talking about?
We'll get that.
I'm sorry, but I have to call this. Like, there has never been anyone who looks more out of their depth doing a job than Rachel Reeves.
In a constant state of sort of adenoidal panic.
Yeah, I used to work in quite a rough bar, and now I thought I was out of my depth doing that. She looks worse than that. Like, it's incredible. I've never seen someone be less capable of handling a job before. It's impressive. It's genuinely impressive.
And it's also like she's got a plan, and she's got a plan. I'm like, the plan, as far as I can tell, seems to be...
It's fucked.
Change the things that
telling people constantly that everything is fucked, and then the other side is, we'll change the things that need changing. We'll double down on AI, which is, we've just discussed, and and question mark profit. It's like, no, the people in Davos with like serious money who actually do like investing under this capitalist structure can see like the UK and Rachel Reeves for what it is. Like, they don't.
This is the thing. No one who's like a serious capitalist. It's the thing that like the serious capitalists and the socialists have clocked, is that no one really believes in the UK as an entity anymore. Like, they do not believe it will produce any kind of return.
I mean, it's not like...
with good cause.
And with good cause,
yeah.
But,
I mean, it's not like with the United States where they can just, like, shoot themselves in the head and still somehow they've got the trillions of dollars of GDP. With a fucking United Kingdom, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, like, we can't... Yeah. Like, as a country, the UK cannot wipe its own ass. That is, like, the state the UK is. It's hard for people in Britain to understand. This country is fucked. It's, like, actually fucked. If you go to any Eastern European country, it feels richer than the UK. Like, it just does. It just does,
Yeah, but Sinan, have you considered that the one thing that's standing in the way of Britain, becoming an economic superpower again, is all that regulation that is simply stifling the growth too much?
Oh, no.
This is from the Telegraph from today.
Like what? Is it the regulation that keeps the water clean? Like,
Well, you got to have clean water to cool the AI, right? That's how that would work.
Well, you know,
Not
this
anymore.
is from the
it's
from the
fine. Chips
Telegraph.
love algae.
This is from the Telegraph this morning. Addressing business leaders at a breakfast in the London city, including the bosses of Lloyds, Tesco and Unilever, Sir Keir revealed that all public spending decisions will now face a new growth test, and added that Britain would, quote, strip away regulation, strip away the inhibition of planning, and use AI to take us forward.
Was he using the Chinese AI, though? Or is he using
No.
We're
using the very
costs
stupid.
way too much money and burns the planet.
Yeah,
He's probably been
AI.
taken out to dinner by the guy who runs that AI, so I guess we're stuck with it. Hate it when this happens.
No, literally, there was another piece, I can't remember which newspaper, but that, like, the government's AI advisor has, like, literal, like, existing vested business interest in a bunch of AI companies that may be, like, getting contracts from the government.
Yup.
So, like,
There's, I think, one of the ministers who's like, shit, this covers, like, half his staff is seconded from, like, an AI company. Like, it's, if you look in the register,
It's Peter Kyle. It's the Minister for
that's
Innovation and Tech. It's Peter Kyle.
Yeah, like two of his staff, like if you look in his register of interest, two of his staff are like seconded from AI companies. I'm like, weird. I wonder if that's influencing what he's saying about this. We can never say.
And also, it's like, at its base, right, at its fundamentals, this is not a new plan. This is the same plan that Britain's had for the last 40 years, which is rip out the regulation, destroy the social fabric of the country, ask a bunch of, idiot fly-by-night predatory shithouse companies to, drop a penny in the jar for the last bits of copper that are left in the fucking wall, and then, just repeat the cycle over and over again. But, we are really running out of shit to destroy. The rivers are full of water.
God,
Nobody
we
has
really
labour
need growth.
protection anymore. Nobody can buy a fucking
We really
house.
Yeah. We really need growth. What successful models of growth could we look at? Immediately post-Soviet Russia. That looks like good growth. Let's
I was
follow
gonna
that
say-
fucking curve.
I was going to say cancer.
To be honest, I was also thinking that kind of loudly.
No, the next things that are on the chopping block were at least hinted at by the
chocolate
Telegraph
block.
was
The things that were on the chocobo.
the thing that were on the pyramid bar, is that these growth-only tests risk, quote, a clash over policies such as employees' rights and net zero, because
beautiful.
we can
Yeah,
we can
because
toss.
we're gonna have to because if we want to build like 28 runways around Heathrow, we're gonna actually have to just pump a shitload of CO2 into the air to to build it, and B, to get all the planes to continue to circle around the fucking airport.
And we're going to have to get children to work on the tarmac and stuff, because obviously that's... No.
Not, of course, that, Keir Starmer's plan for growth was enough because, the vampires assembled in that fucking breakfast room, quote again, the Telegraph, the proposals failed to convince the executives in the room, who warned that the rising tax burden was still a major threat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be the one. It's so sad. Everything about this is
It's
so sad.
pathetic.
It's the sad part is I don't even have it in me to do a whole bit about it. That's how fucking shit it is. I don't even have it in me to make fun of it. It's just sad.
I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it, but I know she said it. I just couldn't find the words of the quote anymore. But it was always the same that Starmer used in an op-ed in the FT about why AI should come to Britain, and she literally says something along the lines of I think if you're business, why not give Britain a look? It's that's the pitch. It's
because it's fucking shit. That's why no one's getting it.
No,
We've been over this.
But you're not even doing the thing of fuck yeah, Britain, we're here. This is cool Britannia. It's yeah, we're Britain. We're also kind of here.
Remember us from before?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, we've changed, and it's not good change. It's not. None of this is going to work. It's just.
But it was the change that needed changing. So
that's right. Yeah.
Who can say if it was actually bad or not?
If Keir Starmer results in the ultimate destruction of the British state, it will be the change that needed changing, and so I will be very delighted by it.
Yeah, you do in fact got to hand it to him. Yeah, he does. It not only dismantles the British state, but also dismantles the institutions of the Labour Party.
Oh, I mean, he's well on the way to doing that.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait till I get to do any other leader would be polling 20%. Because that's gonna have a really good time with that one.
Yeah. Imagine a million Jonathan Ashworths heading, like, I don't know, Labour to win, Labour together, like
Labour together.
One, he's not.
It's Labour together.
I mean, did you see that stuff about
yeah,
him sucking shit in that job?
Yeah. Turns out,
imagine
going on the
4
news,
Jonathan Ashworths at the edge of a cliff. Labour looks the same way.
You've got to admit, though, the man is consistent
and omnipresent.
He. I mean, like, the thing is, the timing of him going to America and then Kamala's campaign eating shit is so interesting that I kind of can't resist the idea that he did do it. I feel like it is his fault.
I have an interesting solution for this, though. Like, you know how Trump is like trying to get his hands on Greenland for reasons almost passing human understanding.
It's because
it's big.
But what if instead of like the Yanks getting Greenland, we give the Danelaw back to the Danish, and then the North can just be Danish again? I think that's reasonable.
Technically, the historic Danelaw would contain both my hometown and the place I currently live, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you'd still be run by a bunch of racists.
This is going to result in me being sanctioned by my Jarl, so...
If I have to live in Denmark, does that mean Lego gets cheaper?
Yes.
No tariff.
No tariff Lego.
Yeah. Not a lot of people know this, but if you show a Danish ID card, they have to give you the Lego for free.
Actually, nice. I find the idea really funny. You could probably pitch this to like hardcore pro EU nut jobs, because you could be like, well, technically that means that part of the country would have rejoined the EU, and so you could make the argument to them.
Yeah, but like I said, and this government also wants to make abundantly clear, they're not panicking, right? They have a sincere plan for growth that is consistent and
it's
worked
impossible
out.
to panic when you're already dead. They don't need to explain this to us.
So we're
Chemical
recording
Ali, what are you doing here?
So we're recording on Tuesday evening, and tomorrow we're going to get another speech for growth from Rachel Reeves, because the last 7 ones didn't do the job yet.
I love
We're doing another fucking relaunch, the Rachel relaunches.
The 10th relaunch of this fucking term.
I really appreciate her doing that on a fucking Wednesday, so we can't talk about it.
Is this going to be the same one that she delivered to the PLP that they all loved?
With everyone pounding their clipboard.
Growth.
I've got a recording from that, by the way.
Have you?
Growth and growth.
Sorry, no, that was Liz Truss, actually. Never mind.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Yeah.
How did that get there?
Sorry, a little bit of context. If you haven't seen this earlier, Rachel Reeves did something fucking statement in the House of Commons, and they forced half the cabinet to walk in after her, and then as she was talking, to literally chant growth, growth, growth as she was talking. That genuinely happened.
I'm sorry, but you know how all of these people called Corbyn supporters cultists, right?
I know.
I'm just gonna say it. This is literally what a cult would ask you to do. You're surrounding the cult leader chanting growth, growth, growth in order to encourage him to get an erection or something. Fucking hell. What are you people up doing? Just fuck off with this.
Going back up the road and amending the CV to say lead in the growth choir.
Rachel, please explain what you mean by the stone cutters on your CV. We're really confused by that.
But yeah, like I said, so we're recording in advance of the speech. We did already get most of what she's going to say, essentially, because they always trial this shit in advance. So a couple of the new headlines that are incoming. It's the Heathrow third runway. This time,
Yeah, Sadiq Khan is going to simply prostrate himself before the building site, the third runway, and they're going to just build it straight over him.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say they were going to build the Cabo where the third runway.
Yeah, I was
really
going to say that.
Really fucking worried about where this was going. just like Britain has stolen the karma and relocated it to Heathrow does feel like something Keir Starmer would try for growth, I guess. Increase in tourism, right? It's a pilgrimage site now.
Oh man, it'd make the M25 even fucking worse though.
Going on Hajj by driving around the M25 is incredible.
That's it.
You have
That's
to
the
stop.
new Hajj.
Yeah, you have to stop at 7 pilgrim stations, like petrol stations along the way. You have to fling a stone at the last little chef to cast out the devil. Oh, fucking incredible. No, the most incredible thing, of course, about all this is because they're gonna do it, and they're making it a collective responsibility thing. So if you want to keep your ministerial job, you have to be in favor of this. So like literally everybody who used to, say this will never happen, I hate it, including Ed Miliband, Steve Reed, Keir Starmer, among other people, are all now like forced to say, no, actually, you know how 6 months ago I said this is the world's shittest idea? Actually, no, I love it now.
Yeah, it's fine now. They really are out to get Ed Miliband. Every single, he's just like the one guy attempting to kind of do his job in that government, and they fucking hate him for it.
Well, to be fair, he's still in that government, so I hope they humiliate him on the daily. I don't fucking care.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying it's fucking weird how much they want him to fail, given he's in their government.
He's the most left wing fucking minister. That's why he's like a vestigial soft left dickhead.
Yeah, fuck him.
I saw an interview with Reeves earlier, and they were like asking, like, well, if you do this third runway, what the fuck about the emissions and the climate, and California being on fire and whatnot? And she said, no, actually, it's good because a third runway means that less planes will have to circle Heathrow and land faster, and that will save in fuel. And then the other one, she said, no, actually, it's fine now because we have sustainable aviation fuel. I was like, no, we fucking don't.
No, you don't.
Since when have we had that?
No.
I'm sorry. What the fuck? I feel like I would have seen that in the newspaper.
Yeah,
I'm sorry not to be like that about it.
The fields of physics and chemistry have collectively groaned at that announcement.
That's blown my mind. That has actually blown my mind.
We do have it. It is sustainable because there's enough of it left for now. That's all that actually matters.
Yeah.
That's
I
fine.
can't believe how... I'm genuinely still processing that. Like, what?
The best thing about all this runway business is, though, and I was reading this earlier, I think in the Financial Times, that like even if tomorrow they say, no, this is happening and there will be no review and we are just getting fucking started, the best estimate is like they will simply not be able to like physically start building the fucking thing until 2030, i.e. past the end of this parliament, and it will not be done, and operational before 2040. So if you want growth
it's
now,
never gonna happen.
What's the fucking point?
Yeah. I mean, that also presumes that the people who actually own Heathrow would want to go through the whole fucking process of getting the permission, which, granted, the government would therefore grant, but unless the government then subsequently scraps all the environmental obligations that each airport has.
Well, they're probably going to do that in effect.
Yeah.
They've also found like a new way to like how like nature in Britain is essentially like dead or dying because of all the many reasons we've talked about in the past. Mm-hmm. Like you know how like we still have like a couple of sites left that are actually like protected because some species live there or some plants are there, or we just kind of like the look of them. Quote the Times, I think. Under new plans, developers will no longer need to undertake site-by-site mitigation measures, but will instead contribute to a new nature restoration fund to fund larger strategic interventions to protect natural ecosystems. So, the woods around your...
fact procedure. I love it. The fucky wucky fund.
It's like, what if, it's like, yes, the woods around your house might have, disappeared. I mean, bulldozed to make another, unaffordable fucking Barratt home estate. But they've put like £3 in a jar that Steve Reed's going to use to give to farmers because they're still fucking furious.
It's fine. The Brewdog guy will just plant another tree or some shit. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't ask about the rest of his trees.
Yeah, this is also, of course, all of that is in afterwards of, that fucking stupid bat tunnel thing. Although I think this was always the plan, and they consciously leaked the bat tunnel story to drive everybody into the correct level of frenzy. Basically, that's my theory on it. Like, everybody knew about that thing, but it was just strategically placed to soften the grounds for all of this.
Why didn't they just call it the Bat Cave? Everyone would have just understood if they said Bat Cave.
Well, and also we spent 100 million on a tunnel, so as I understand it, a genuinely rare species that is under threat can have a couple more lives. I'm like, I would rather have you spend 100 million for a very cool looking tunnel that some construction workers actually got paid to put up than the 22 billion for carbon capture and storage. That's just a carbon capture, storage and use. I should fucking amend.
Whoa.
That actually, I would rather you build 220 tunnels for the same money, or spend half of that to finish HS2 under a bat tunnel. It's a better use of time and money and resources, and you want growth. That's how you get some fucking growth.
HS2 is the one kind of shining light in this, though, because it is basically a fucking effective guarantee that they won't build this third runway because they can't even fucking finish the one tiny little leg of fucking HS2 they were talking about initially.
No, I think
if they can't even fucking cope with that, they won't, because by 2030 they won't be in fucking government.
I think everybody in Parliament, or the pressures behind the third runway, have been so big for so long. But it's one of these things that the Tories could never do the third runway because they'd be too fucking unpopular with the home county psychos that are their electorate, their membership. Whereas it's one of those things. It's only Richard Nixon can go to China. Only Labour can destroy the welfare state and build the third runway. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll see what Reform says in 2029.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Reform's going to say Bill
I'm
4.
sure we'll see a lot of what Reform has to say in 2029.
Yeah, that election...
2028 and 2027 and 2026.
Yeah, that election night stream is not going to be a great one. I already have a really bad feeling about it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's bad juju on...
Fingers crossed.
Annual leave for me, I think.
Yeah, I will be safely not in the UK by the time that election rolls around, hopefully. So
yeah, if you're really lucky, they won't even let you back in, mate.
Yeah, I know, it's going to be great.
You've got the perfect excuse to just be sorry, can't come back. Ooh.
Sorry.
Need to live somewhere better.
Guess I'll have to live in Japan forever. Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. They've got enough weebs there, Sinan. They don't need you. You're a good person, but
I might have to move there for work, is the thing.
Of course. That's what they all say.
Just a new job at the contraption factory.
That's right, yeah. I got that shirt with the contraption on it, and suddenly I've got a lot of emails from Japanese companies interested in hiring me. It's weird.
But yeah, speaking of growth in HS2, because obviously they're not expanding that, but one of the things that's getting re-announced again after last week's announcement, when we briefly talked about it as well, is that rail line between Oxford and Cambridge, which, again, it's more rail, it's good, I like rail, build more trains, all good, but now it's in a different context, because of that new railway line, according to Rachel Reeves, Cambridge will transform into Britain's Silicon Valley.
This is an old plan. This plan has been
It's
kicking
Silicon
around for a long
Roundabout.
time.
George Osborne did this.
It's a solid plan. It's already halfway there because it's full of dipshits thanks to the university.
And also, I love it so much, leveling up was obviously a piece of shit, and this government is also doing the same thing. It's they're doing it again. They're just where are we going to put the brand new infrastructure and, the data centers and the computing whatnots? Oh, in the belt between Cambridge and Oxford. I haven't checked recently, but I think, in general, the welfare standards there are much fucking higher than, let's say, around Leeds or something like that. They're just clustering the growth in the areas that are already wealthy again, like every government has done for the last 40 fucking years.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. They've made sure to push out all these big growth initiatives across the country. GB Energy will be in Aberdeen, a place that definitely needs more money in it. Well, it does, but none of that money's going to go anywhere fucking useful anyway, so it's going to be functionally no different.
Yeah. Weird how you never hear about the Red Wall anymore, isn't it? Or left behind communities. Weird that we never need to talk about that. Yeah. Oh yeah, and one more thing before we get to the end, which is incredible. The non-dom community has been complaining to Rachel Reeves about the fact that they might have to like pay an inch more tax. So that's going to be like revised. You know how non-doms were like not going to be a thing anymore, and they were actually going to have to pay some fucking tax? No, not anymore, because like. It was either the Times or the Telegraph got hold of some incredibly shitty research that said 10,000 millionaires have left the UK in the last year.
Oh, fuck them. I don't care.
Yeah,
Well, they'll be here in the first place.
So, like, non-doms, they don't pay tax over here, right? Or they pay less tax or something like that.
Very little.
So
well, I mean, it's like they don't pay, they're not citizens, so they don't pay, like, formal taxes, but they buy sandwiches, so they pay VAT. It's that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right, so why do we give a shit if they leave?
Because they're the job pixies. They're the magic growth people.
Yeah, they're the growth fairy.
There was, by the way, because I saw that number a couple of times, I was like, surely, the 10,000 millionaires, that can't be true. In 1 year, 10,000 of them, like, pulled their kids out of expensive, public schools and sold their, mansions in Mayfair. That's simply not fucking true. It turns out, no, it's not. There was an article, rare shout out, but there was a decent piece in the New Statesman that this number comes from a South African wealth intelligence firm whose main asset is like they sell residence and citizenship advice to some of the richest people in the world. And they found this number. How did they find this number? Quote the New Statesman, by compiling the data from public sources, including LinkedIn and other business portals. So what they did is they looked at 10,000 rich people who said, on LinkedIn, I have moved residence, and then said, okay, it's 10,000 millionaires who have left the country.
And even if it was, fuck them, I don't care.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Actually, yeah, fucking leave. I don't want you here. Piss off.
All of this was capped off because, Reeves has been in the news, constantly for the last week. There was a quick-fire Q&A in the Times that I want to read out in full because it is this
excruciating.
This is like fucking. This is what if Patrick Bateman was like in charge of the Treasury. It's just fucking insane shit that you can only say if you've been that grown to be a spad, essentially. Like
this is for people who think that The Thick of It is a really good show and they've internalised it, but they've internalised all the wrong elements of it.
Yeah. I think they look at that fucking. Which is still a good bit when they have Blinky Ben go on Question Night and he just gets destroyed by Paxman.
Yeah,
and I think they're just not. I think they're just more like, no, we want to be like that guy. That's the serious politics guy,
Yeah, the guy.
Anyway,
the guy who looked like a cow being punched in the face.
Yes.
Yeah, Blink 182.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is. I'm gonna read this. There's 6 questions. I'm gonna read them all out in full because they're all insane. Question 1. Bats or great crested newts? Answer, neither, because I want growth.
Fucking, that's some cold-eyed psychopath shit right there. It's like, I will annihilate the bats and the newts for 0.2% growth.
I will take a fucking flamethrower to those bats if need be. Notice me, corn.
Turning up to the back tunnel with a grenade just to show you're serious about growth.
Question 2. Kemi Badenoch or Nigel Farage? Answer, neither! Keir Starmer.
That's not how the question works. That's so bad.
Not a cult. Not a cult.
Not a legitimate answer. She has to try again. I feel like I would make her try again if she'd pulled that shit.
Question 3. Traitor or faithful? Answer, are they programs?
I remember when we were all expected to go to London and drive a fucking van at Jeremy Corbyn because we didn't know who Ant and Dec were.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is such an envious position to be in.
Yeah, no one who lives in that much bliss can be allowed to exist in the UK. Come on.
And also, like, I have never seen that program, but I know what it is because, like, it's just sort of ephemerally there in the atmosphere. Like, you know, I have a sort of basic gist of what it is. But the most embarrassing thing for me is, like, for people who, like, fucking revere Tony Blair and want to do everything he did. You know, one of the things, this is a genuine thing, what they used to do, I think the Tories did it as well, it's like before any government minister went on one of these things and was asked questions like this, before they went on the BBC or something, they've been given like a 2-page briefing shit with like some of the cultural hits and like the price of bread, the price of a pint of milk, because people always ask these kinds of questions because they're designed to make you seem human. So like, she can't even do the Blair thing. That's just, it's astonishing.
I mean, there's literally another thick of it joke, right? Like they have Hugh Abbott watch fucking was it Emmerdale,
yeah, something like that, yeah,
something like that. And like, yeah, you can't even live up to the satire.
Question 4: Donald Trump or Ursula von der Leyen? Answer: are there gonna be any brackets questions that are fun? I don't think we should choose between them.
To be fair, I agree. She, you know, in the first half, I'm like, yeah, are there going to be any questions that are fun? Because fucking hell.
That depends how loaded is the revolver.
But it's like you can't even, like, you know, not accept the premise of the question. Like, I mean, that's what she's doing before, but, like, I don't think we need to choose between, you know... Oh, never mind. Just,
imagine if she'd gone neither Vladimir Putin and it just all came crashing down around her.
President Xi.
Yeah, President Xi.
Yeah, just like rips her top off to like reveal the Maoist boiler suit beneath, you know, the music swells.
The best thing about that though as well is like if someone tells Donald Trump about this, that's like an international incident.
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
absolutely.
Undo all of Keir Starmer's like, you know, hard ass kissing that he's done.
And you know, Donald Trump already thinks Keir Starmer tried to rig the election against him, so he's on thin ice at the moment. Keir Starmer, I'm just saying.
Question 5: packed lunch or state banquet? Packed lunch.
That's a fucking layup.
Yes.
Well, yeah, like what, like that's such a what's she meant to say?
Yeah,
even she's not that
supposed to
stupid.
say
Neither,
state
because she
banquet.
likes growth.
Yeah, state banquets for all as a symbol of growth in the UK.
To be fair, that would be mint if you did it back like in sort of the Roman Republic day, where like rich people just like did giant public banquets for everybody, and like every once in a while, like you could just have like a fancy dinner in the street because like some rich cunt had paid for it. That'd be genuinely better.
We could return to bread and circuses because at the moment we have a fucking sweet fuck all on either front. To be honest,
Yeah. The secret third answer she should have given was the Scooby snack because of the
And then the last one, question 6: Downing Street or the family home in South London? Answer: for now, Downing Street. Forever, South London.
Yeah, fuck my constituency.
I was just about to say, reading from her Wikipedia, she has been the Member of Parliament for Leeds West and Pudsey since 2010. Get fucked, Leeds. Your fucking MP
say neither
despises
Leeds. Yeah, like what is she doing?
Oh, fuck's sake.
Anyway, I'm sure that when this recording has come out, we'll have had Rachel Reeves' growth speech, and the day after, I'm sure there will be, you know, a massive investment in Britain. You know, you will have felt the difference in your pocket by the time this comes out.
Imagine
London
if
to be renamed Growth upon Thames.
I mean, imagine if her speech goes so badly, Keir Starmer sacks her before this comes out. Like, could you imagine?
Oh, she will get sacked, but not tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I do prefer that sackings are done on a Monday.
Yeah.
Preferably for a golden schedule, obviously.
Even a Friday.
Also, Thatch is dying.
Works.
That should also happen
Friday's
on
good.
Mondays.
Yeah. Actually, Friday's better because that gives time for the Sunday editions to come out and for us to find really funny stuff to read. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it on Friday.
Yeah, because all of the dirt comes out then as well, you know.
Yeah. Do we want to do a brief dipshit update before we play Common or Commentariat?
Yeah, and I've also got some breaking news. One of the patrons has just posted a thing from Bloomberg The UK is considering making households who only use streaming services such as Netflix and Disney pay the BBC licence fee as part of plans to modernise the way it funds the public service broadcaster.
Yes, they do not want to win the next election.
No, they're gonna lose so bad. That's not even like third place territory. That's fourth, fifth place territory almost.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. That's running in the entire fucking United Kingdom and getting fucked by the SNP, who only run in Scotland.
Like the SNP might have more seats than Labour at the next election.
It's literally going to be Ian Murray and no one else left in the Labour Party.
A fucking imaginary Corbyn party is now going to overtake Labour at this point. Like, what the fuck is going on nowadays? This shit. And
Labour is so shit, they managed to, like, by their existence, revitalise the SNP, which had also died on its arse for being shit.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad about this over Christmas, and he was on about, like, oh yeah, you know, like, in Scotland they did really well, referring to Labour, and I was like, yeah, but check it out, everyone's flipping back to the SNP. He was like, yeah, because they've turned out to be even shitter than I thought they would be, didn't they? Fun fact, my dad voted Labour, and I am never going to let him forget it. Because he's now got 97 and 2024 on him on his bill. So I'm gonna absolutely rinse him for the rest of his life about this. even though he got the two good ones, right? But like still.
Yeah, so anyway, the last piece of exciting news we've got is an update on like fucking, you know what I mean? The fucking Nazi guy. Visa, right?
Your Roman salute. There's significant debates, Jamie.
Yeah, also don't look up what Roman salutes are.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be pulled into that region of fortune.
Those are the ones the Nazis do, right? Yeah, Visa have partnered with X, the Everything app, to enable the X Money account. I love the way every one of these single fucking things is... Every single one of these things is called X because he's named them after his wives.
Oh no.
Users will be able to move funds between traditional bank accounts and their digital wallet. No word on whether they can keep skills in there.
This is a bad idea.
Make instant peer-to-peer payments.
I've always said that I've wanted to do my banking on 4chan, and so this is a great opportunity, really, if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, X Payments LLC is licensed in 41 states and registered with FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network.
So they're the ones...
Are they going to make sure that the crimes happen?
Yeah, that's
right.
What
I assume. So, like... I assume now it's just a lot easier to get scammed. It makes scams on Twitter much more efficient because it removes the middleman. You know, you don't need to
Labour are furious. That's not very growth of them. Wow.
Yeah, I know. But you can just directly pay someone who's like promising you like a fucking, you know what I mean, like lifetime subscription to Ivermectin monthly or whatever. And the only person who can get you a refund is Johnny Turbo Hitler. Because FinCEN, which I've never heard of before, but which like they had their website was .gov and had a little thing at the top saying, "This is an official branch of the U.S. government. Here's how you can tell."
I have vaguely heard of them, but this is too obscure for me, and that's really saying something when it comes to weird government organs.
Well, I assume they're being, as we speak, being defunded for being woke. So. Like the rest of the American government.
Turns out the government was the problem all along. There you go.
Yeah. So when like you know what I mean, you're going to be able to get a refund from the person who scammed you, if and only if like the money hasn't gone back to their bank, I guess, and only if they like Elon's memes.
Yeah,
fucking X, you know what I mean?
Worth it. It's not worth it. Just let the money's gone, lads. Just don't.
God, the only person left in the world to be able to get a refund is Cat Turd. The 21st century, just like fucking
I was literally just about to say, This is great news for fucking Cat Turd, assuming he hasn't like fucking died on the toilet before this comes out.
Yeah, isn't that the fiber is gay guy?
That is exactly the fibrous gay guy who is in hospital having a fucking blocked intestine dealt with.
Bolsonaro moment.
Having like several JCBs like beeping into his colon at the moment.
Shout out to everyone who called him Can't Turd.
That's good.
That's
I like
good,
that.
Paulson.
Brilliant.
That's your weekly cunt update.
Yeah, before we move on to commentariat, though, I do want to give you like one hopeful vision of the future for Britain. You know, the true change. This is.
Is this the one? Is this the one that some fucking dipshit was posting on Blue Sky earlier?
No, this is courtesy of.
I'll find that while you're talking.
This is courtesy of former Home Secretary, I should hasten to say again, Suella Braverman, who was talking at some idiot convention in the US. Quote, what happens if the UK falls into the hands of Muslim fundamentalism? Our legal system gets substituted by Sharia law, and our nuclear capacities vest in a regime not too dissimilar to that of Iran today. In which case, and I would simply say, I welcome my liberators.
Yeah, like what if that?
Oh,
well, then I guess
no more interest payments.
I guess they'll build. I guess they really will build the Kaaba at Heathrow then. In that case.
Anyway,
yeah. Well, there was a guy on Blue Sky today, some fucking random centrist dipshit, and
I know what you mean.
Yeah, there was a thing in the Guardian, I think, by Owen Jones talking about how now is the time for the Green Party, and this guy was like
balls, which is true.
This guy was very put out that Owen Jones is so negative about Keir Starmer, and so he proposed the following little bit of fan fiction: Starmer wins his fourth term. The UK has had sustained 3% growth for 13 years and above inflation wage growth. We all get HS8 from Aberdeen, brackets capital of GB Energy, to Swansea in 3 hours. Owen Jones. Starmerism has been a political catastrophe which will collapse any day now.
Yep.
So, you don't have to work for the Times to do that. Like, here's what will happen in the future, like political fucking bullshit.
But it helps.
It turns out you can just write disgusting fan fiction about whatever you want.
Yeah.
And sadly, no one can stop you.
Yeah. Too bad.
Keep it on fucking AO3, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, anyway.
I'm sure there's
it's
definitely
time for
stuff like that in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't besmirch Age of Empires 3.
It's time for commentariat.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hooray.
This is the most welcoming, least racist nation on earth. Certainly in Sir Keir Starmer's beloved European utopia. But we must draw the line at queue jumpers, fake asylum seekers, and those who overstay their visas. Is that comment or commentariat?
Queue jumpers.
Blind
like
the queue jumper.
everywhere.
I mean, Keir Starmer is a queue jumper, isn't he? He did that on holiday and got booed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like commentariat.
Yeah.
I'm just leaning that way slightly.
Yeah, I think commentariat.
It's the entirely out of pocket inclusion of queue jumper.
Yeah.
Rob?
Sorry, this is comment.
It was actually Richard Littlejohn in the Daily Mail.
Fuck. No, it can't be. There's no fucking... No 1970s television references, so it can't be.
Yeah, that's it. UK TV Gold wasn't mentioned once here, good sir.
Right.
Yeah, the column was titled, "They say 1 in 12 people in London is an illegal immigrant. Is that all?"
Yeah, we got to pump those
Get a
numbers
real
up.
job.
We got to, those are rookie numbers.
Yeah, those are rookie numbers. All right, number 2. We used to be a nation of shopkeepers, a description often attributed to Napoleon Bonaparte, but most likely cobbled together from a variety of sources, including Adam Smith, the 18th century free marketeer. Smith used it as a compliment, a celebration of our entrepreneurial spirit. The French levelled it as an insult to deride and belittle us. Plus ça change. Today, sadly, we are in grave danger of becoming a nation of shoplifters. Is that comment or commentary?
Oh, yes.
That little journalistic flourish at the end, you gotta love it.
Yeah, commentariat.
Yeah, nailed on.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, that's commentariat.
Yeah, that was Richard Littlejohn again. In cheating, lawless Britain, we've gone from being a nation of shopkeepers to a nation of shoplifters.
Finally. We're much cooler.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're a much cooler country now. We're committing those cool crimes. That means we shouldn't be prosecuted.
I've never understood why some women think getting naked or half naked translates to taking back power. For a start, who took your power in the first place? Mainly, though, I feel stripping off just gives men the power. It's what they want, after all, to see women in various states of undress. Personally, I think having the power is keeping your clothes on and refusing to give these men what they want. Is that comment or commentary?
Well, first of all,
What
it's
is
Sharia
this-
law, so there's that.
Are we just on a Richard Littlejohn omnibus? Is that what's happening right now? Because like the biggest dork in the world speaks.
Yeah.
Actually, Richard Littlejohn would say it's a Richard Littlejohn omnibuses.
That's, it is kind of here to like hard to hear the end of that story without, because like the sound of like several generations of feminists like spinning up in their graves like fucking jet turbines. But like that's.
But the question is, was it Richard Littlejohn or not?
It was.
I think
Yes.
it was, yeah, go on.
1,000 times yes.
Actually, that was a comment in the Daily Mail.
Was it on a
Richard
Little John?
article.
Yeah, was it on one of his?
No, it wasn't. It was on a
Oh.
piece about how Britain's smallest glamour model appeared on This Morning.
Oh,
Fuck's sake.
all right, cool.
People cannot be normal. It's just not possible.
No, they
journalism.
cannot. No. There were like 40 comments on that article, and they were all that,
Ugh.
basically. Right. None of this has happened by accident. It's a result of politicians encouraging a dependency culture with 9 million people of working age economically inactive and the old bill woefully refusing to take seriously what they consider to be petty crime. Is that comment or commentariat?
Commentariat.
Yeah, I think commentariat on that one.
I'm gonna say comment.
I'm going to say comment, yeah.
You fools, it was Richard Littlejohn in the Daily Mail.
Say
He's got us again.
the feint, the fucking feint.
Yeah.
Last one. The truth is, I really don't care where people come from as long as they contribute to this country in a positive way and that we can deal with the numbers. And at the moment, this definitely isn't the case. Anyone with a brain will tell you that getting a GP appointment is like a nightmarish Challenge Annika mission, that councils are on their knees as they deal with soaring social care issues, and there's a housing crisis that means that many don't get on the ladder until their 40s. Some never do. Is that comment or commentariat?
Is this a comment on a Littlejohn article?
I think I'll go for a comment on this one.
Comment.
All right. That was, and I quote, Express.co.uk assistant news editor and conservative councillor Mika Smiles.
Didn't sound like
A
good
new
smiling.
challenger has appeared.
Yeah. The article was titled, UK is sitting on a migration time bomb and it's going to blow up in 2032. Ooh.
Oh my god, population growth. Fuck.
I know.
Well, that's growth. That's a form of growth. So, Keir Starmer ought to be
Yeah,
happy.
yeah.
Growth.
Growth.
That's it. If we keep
Join in
No,
as
that's
soon
your-
as I find my clipboard.
But yeah, that's your whack. You don't have to go
Excellent.
home, but you can't stay here.
That's it.
It's true. Yeah, you will need to fuck off. However, if you would like to try and get away with, hanging about the doors for a little while for a bonus episode or two, you can do that at patreon.com/praxiscast. £5 a month will get you those 2 bonus episodes and Discord access, which is where we also post all the bits that we couldn't put in the episode. Not all of them. Many of them. Not all of them.
Yeah.
Some of them
Yeah.
just can't even go in there.
Just the parts where I said slurs that were cut.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if you would
do
like
you like
those...
1,000 Do you like 1,000 kilohertz tones? Then have we got the Discord channel for you?
Yeah, are you by chance a dog?
Oh dear, yeah. Merch is also available at practicast.tmail.com and twitch.tv is a website. Do you know who streams on twitch.tv? It's Sinan.
Yeah, occasionally.
Yeah.
Much less these days, but yeah. Thursday to Sunday, 6 p.m. to whenever the fuck I feel like nowadays. But also, more importantly, youtube.com/SK the Crusader. New video out on Four Lions. Was a lot of fun. Already had multiple deranged comments about it. So I'm very pleased with how that's gone. Including one that seems to think that the film couldn't have been made when it was made, even though I did a video analysing it, because it was made when it was made. I'm very confused by it.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know how this fucking works anymore. But come be normal in my comment section, I guess.
People really do just go on the internet and say anything.
Yes, I'm so fucking confused by what the problem is here. Like, it couldn't have been made then. Well, then how do I watch the fucking film at the cinema? I don't know. You're going to have to explain it to me.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see you on the next one then, folks. Thank you again, Sinan. And obviously, you should absolutely go and check out all of their stuff, both YouTube and Twitch. It's all very good. And sometimes you'll see us doing stuff there too.
That's right, David. Streams are something that are happening this Sunday at 6:30 until 9. We'll be streaming Dwarf Fortress and turning you, dear listener, into a dwarf. Be the thresher you've always dreamed of, as long as that dream also includes you being torn to shreds by a giant worm that spews deadly dust on a Sunday.
See ya. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.